Welcome back to part 3 of this episode of Daily Dose of Game and Knowledge with your boy Unclebigdee. So in part 2, I was talking about how I done found out the main energy source of this that's powering this world that we live in, which is a microcosm of what's bigger, of the macrocosm of the microcosm of a bigger world, and we're being powered in a body by some feces. Now, to correlate, to show you that it might sound wild and outrageous, but if you go to the knowledge, and I'll correlate with some of the language and the words and the terms, because you know I'm big with words. I study words and the origin of words and etymology of words and where things come from and derive from and what they really mean in mathematics, letters and symbols, through mathematics and through ancient words and things of that nature, and where things come from. If you go look at the word anus, A-N-U-S, we all know what an anus is. Anus is the booty hole. And you go do the research on supposedly those who had came here, the Anunnaki and all these other people, Anubis and everything what I knew in the word. The ancient gods who had came here and set up shop, created this system of these people and created mankind. You know, the Anu. Go Google Anu, A-N-U. The base word of anus, A-N-U-S, is Anu. Alright? When you go do your research on some of the ancient cults, even today, the cults of today are cults and ancient religions and practices, they had anal sex and they worshipped the bull, which was Anu, in Taurus constellation, and Moloch and Baal, the Canaanites. The Canaanites were created by Jacob, which was a Persian invader to the Nile Valley, which was the Hyksos kings in the 16th dynasty, but they were Persian. If you go do the research on the Persia, and you go look at the ancient civilizations, the knowledge of that, you're going to see that they were Zoroastrian, and that they were, they got statues called the Lamassu, L-A-M-A-S-S-U, which are these bull bodies, people with the head, or with a man, a human head, and they wore turbans, and they wore fez hats, caps, and they wore the papal hats that the popes wear today. All these things come from Persia and Iraq, which was Babylon. Persia is Iran. That whole area, which were the Anunnaki people had came, which were the extraterrestrials, and they the ones who came and set up, created mankind here on the planet. All right, in this whole system. Supposedly they from the Pleiades section of the Taurus constellation. Now, get back on subject. So this practice and this knowledge is ancient. You know, the thing with Moses and all these other things, even the 10 Commandment thing, the script, you're going to see it looks like a booty. You're going to see that little hump in the middle. Everything looks like a booty. A heart, the symbolism of a heart is a booty. Go look at the Ace of Spades card. The symbol of a spade is a booty with a ding-a-ling going in there. It's the same symbol as the think the American Heart Association, you're going to see a heart with that flame booty going in there. I mean, I've seen these symbolisms of the anus all over the place. All throughout here, the wheel of Dharma. I mean, everything you see is a booty hole. Alright, CERN. Now, check this out. This is even more astonishing. The universe showed itself to me, and it always shows you where it'll tell you its origin and where it comes from. That's why the symbols, some of the most powerful symbols, things that you'll see all over from the beginning all the way to now, looks like an anus. It's not ashamed of itself. It'll tell you where it came from. And it has shown me. I mean, to the point that it's so big, that's why everything here that's computed, all this existence, like these flowers, is anus hole. Everything looks like a booty hole. Everything is a spiral, from a galaxy to the way things grow. If you go look at an artichoke or the pineal gland or a pine cone, the way they worship that spiral because it looks like a booty hole. That's what all this is powered from, being powered from that feces. And like I said, it gets deep, y'all. You know what I mean? It's not, it sounds funny, but and it sounds like, you know, you might be like, oh, he's just talking, he's sick in the head. I'm just telling you reality. I mean, deal with it. If you're not ready to deal with it, don't deal with it. You know what I mean? It's not, it doesn't have anything to do, it's not even really a bad thing. Because if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't exist. Well, none of this would be here. All this whole world was a project that was created. That's why they tell you that the sun, you know, all these things that they know that was brought here. Now the moon is a representation of a rogue world which is here. The beings, basically the moon has no color because the sun is not penetrating through it. The moon was created on another frequency by something else. So it wasn't, that's why the sun's current is not penetrating through the moon. But the moon will reflect the sun, and then you'll get light from the moon because the sun is beaming on it, but the moon has no color. All the color here, the color is through light. The moon is black, and it's the light won't penetrate through it. That's why the moon has no color. All right, but everything here is on a spectrum through the light of the current of the sun pulling through us, and that's why we have color and stuff like that. So the worship of the moon and Moses and all these other things, but then the moon has something to do with the water too, with the pulling the currents of the water, and all these things. You know, the science gets deep, and a lot of these occultist people, you know, worship the moon, and when the moon is at this stage, and when it's a full moon, and when it's a blue moon, and they worship eclipses and everything got to do with the moon that's blocking the sun and stuff, things of that nature like that. But then they need the sun too to be able to exist, so they feed from the sun's energy. But then they worship the moon, which represents another world from the original sun world, but this is a rogue world here. That was a side project created by these people from the Pleiades to compute extra, like to do a side world. And that's why everything here is the way it is and what it's about. But back to correlating with the anal and how they got the power to power this world and its existence. You know, I figured out that even the clock, a watch, everything is based around the constellations, everything we're in. I used to think that it was a vaginal. I thought we was in the, the vesica Pisces and the Christ, and then we're in the sun is the Christ, the pineal gland of the man, the boy that she's pregnant with in her wearing her cosmic waters. The Virgin Mary and the Black Madonnas and the Isis with Horus and all that whole pantheon. And come to find out that, it's not even that, man. You know what I mean? It got something to do with the anal. It's what the truth is. Same thing with the Baphomet thing, the goat. Got something to do with the beast, which is Pan or Fawn, which is the goat, the half man, half goat beast. And they be having sex with animals, and then he's trying to create a new man. It's just a road, and it's what's up above is so below. The microcosm from the macrocosm, you know what I mean? But they need the seed from the original, and then this is a road project on the side. So it's a lot of things that go on. I've learned that not everybody's the same on the inside. All the different races and different people out here, they act different, they think different, they're created different. They're not the original. They're created hybrid humans of the same, coming from the same template of the original man, which is what the Yakub thing was about in the 12 tribes of Canaan. He created different beings. Same thing, humans, mixing animal DNA with human DNA and all these things, grafting different species, you know what I mean, testing this because they got a project they doing. And that's all this is. This is a project that they doing here in a human farm. And they still doing it today. They refining their project. It just keeps getting deeper and deeper. Why do you think that within the last 100 years, all of a sudden we got skyscrapers, airplanes, cars, electronics? And who brought that here? It came from the black mind, our light, the pineal gland. We got the antenna, but then who does the work? The Mexicans and the white people and the labor. They're the laborers who do all the work, who build the buildings. And every time you go out now in the street, who's building all the shit? You see white people and Mexicans on the job. But who did the blueprint? The black people created the blueprint of the shit. That's why I'm not racist, I'm just saying about how different people are different. Different frequencies in the cosmos. You know what I mean? Come through different, and it's different. Why all of a sudden, within the past 100 years, now that you see a system that has been put in place here, started with the German thing, that to where they want to take out all the black people, and then the ones that they keep, they only want to use them for their knowledge and intellect, to use them to bring things here, but they want to kill the black people off the planet and then spread themselves across the planet. What was the Nazi Third Reich thing all about? It was about human hybrids. You had to have blonde hair and blue eyes, and you're a crop. They make a crop of certain humans that they want to spread across the planet, hybrids. If you notice today, the only thing you see, well, at least on TV, but you know who controls television, you know what I mean? But you never see black, you see the whole planet, but I see it in real life out here where I'm living. You see everybody is now, there's no black people. They killed all the black people off real thin, but they spreading all these other hybrid races across the planet, is multiplying themselves. You know what I mean? And you see the frequency changing in the soul of the planet and the humans changing. It's not what it used to be when the soul was here, when the black people was here, when the original, the real people was here. You know what I mean? When they're spreading us thin, they killing you off, and then they spreading themselves And that's why every land, every colonization you go through now, you see more different races than you'll see black people, but you always see them still killing off the black people. You see Asians, Arabs, white people, Spanish people. You see all these different people, Europeans, all over the planet, even in Africa. They all over the planet now. And like I said, only within the past 100 years, 120 years. Prior to that, the whole planet was mostly still black people. If you go look at even in the 1800s, most of the presidents and kings around the world was all still black. And the civilization, most of the people was black all over the world. They was mixed with black, they was brown. Nowadays, you know, they all gone and the planet is being spread by people that have no melanin. And there's billions of them now. This is more population than there ever been on this planet at one time. And it's billions and billions of these people. And there's very few black people now, but billions of them overpowering the planet. Which is just, it's just, you know, another thing just shows you that this is just a project. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, where we're born at, and here, and what this is, we're on a piece of doo-doo. You know what I mean? And this shit is hollow. This world has been manifested. It was already in line and already had an agenda before we even got here, even came here. We're just a bit in the middle of the project. You know what I mean? Everybody plays a position in place. And it's just wild. But get back to what I was saying, another thing I figured out is that the watch. Okay? let me show you a watch. Hold on a minute. Okay, see this watch right here. Alright, see this watch. This watch, a watch represents an anal hole. Okay? The anal is power because it has that doo-doo up in there. The anal equals time. So this whole time is energy. Okay? And this world is all energy. Even though time is just an illusion, is created, life is just energy. Just put it like that. Each one of these dots represents a number, like on a regular clock is a number, right? It's 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Those represent the 12 major constellations. Okay. Which is showing me that that this world that we're in is all on a piece of doo-doo. The constellation of stars are just minds. They're sparks. That's why you got the 3, 6, 9 is the upside down triangle. And then you got the up triangle. And you got 1, 2 north. 1, 2, and 3 makes 3. Long story short, man. Now, you might say, well, what he's doing is what he said earlier. He's kind of contradicting himself because he's saying that he's trying to explain something of what he thinks that he wants to hear, so he's trying to find it in things. No, it's not that way. It's not that way. I will tell you right now that at the beginning, when I first figured out this anal thing, I didn't want to accept it. You know what I mean? But the universe actually just, you know, said that's just what it is. It's not that I'm trying to push this idea on you. What I'm trying to tell you is if you go look yourself at all symbols, all ancient pictures, even all the occult symbols, everything has to do with a booty hole. Everything you see with a circle and lines, that's a booty hole. Alright? And that's because this existence is being powered by that. It wouldn't exist without that. Didn't happen. And that's what this earth plane is supposed to be. Alright? Now another thing we're going to get into is the Asaurian seed. Asarian is Osiris. Is a metaphor for the original man, supposedly the God race, or the God, which is the black man. The man, Osiris is was the man. I mean, the God of the perfect black. Okay. The story about how his brother Set, killed him, chopped Osiris up into 13 pieces, and then Thoth, Thota, or Tahuti came, which is the god of wisdom, and brought back, resurrected Osiris. Excuse me. Resurrected Osiris, and they found 13 pieces, but they didn't find his phallic, his penis, which is his seed. Okay, so everything got to do with his seed, which is that sperm. Okay, which is a black man's sperm. Excuse me. So, going back to that, if you even look at the story of the Christ, a Christ is a metaphor for the man with the seventh chakra, which is the original man, which is the person with the pineal gland and third eye. The pineal gland is just the light of the body, which is the soul. S-O-L in Latin means sun. Okay, which is the sun, which is the frequency of the stars and the suns abroad in this light network, this network. So what happens is that's what a Christ is. Okay, it's the one with the pineal gland, the Buddhas. You always see the Buddha statues with the third eye, with the dot in the forehead. That represents the pineal gland. All right. Now what happens is that the Asarian seed is the Christ DNA. That's his sperm, his seed. Now with his seed, created all of this. Okay, that's why in their religion, we live through the Son, through the Christ, and all that old shit. If you go look in Vatican, you're gonna see the obelisk in the middle of St. Peter's Square. I believe it's St. Peter's Square with the lines that looks like it looks like a key, but it's supposed to be Orion, constellation Orion. That's why all these things, a lot of things in symbolism represents the constellation of Orion. The constellation of Orion is Osiris, is Asar. Okay, and then the belt, the three dots, the Orion's belt, which the pyramids all point to, is supposedly his midsection, his phallic, right? And then right below, if you go look, is the star of Sirius, Sirius A, which is the star, which is the Christ star, which is the star of Bethlehem, or whatever you want to call it. The three kings in the Bible story is Orion's belt. That's why they call it the three kings. Make a long story short, it's just a metaphor and a story to show you that the offspring of Osiris is Asar. The offspring of Osiris is the Christ. And it's the same seed, it's a replication of his same seed. So they're just using the sun's or his DNA and producing them like a farm down up in this world. Like I said, this earth is just a human farm, and they just using you for what they want to use you for. And that's why they're in the master zone now, controlling you for what they want to use you for. You know what I mean? That's why they be killing black people, sacrificing them. They stealing your seed. You know what I mean? Everything has to do with the black man's seeds and sperm and all that old shit like that. This whole world evolves around that. This whole world evolves around the pineal gland and the seed, sperm and the mind. And it might sound funny, but it's true. If you go look, everything evolves around sex. All things evolves around that black man's seed in a woman, going up in a woman. Now what it is it's not just about the anal, because this computer and this world and system that we live in is computed by a few different things. Now let me explain to you, okay? And they all on different, they're in their own areas, okay? And that's what makes these different planes work simultaneously, but at different times. If you go look at when people have sex, what do? A lot of people have, it's 3 ways you can do it. The fellatio, which is the mouth sex, the oral sex, which is females giving head or whatever, or a man giving head to a female. Then you have the anal sex. Then you have the vaginal sex. All right. Now all 3 of these things are different chambers for that seed. All right. And when a man ejaculates in either one of these 3 different things, they're all different systems of computing on different levels and times. All right. The anal is supposed to be the fastest one. That's why it's represented by the fire. All right. Everything you see will have something to do with the fire and the devil and all these things with the anal. Then you see the vaginal, which is everybody came up out of vagina. That's the progenitor. You know what I mean? That's how you give birth. That's the best. That's the way you're supposed to have sex, is through the vagina. Okay, but then that's just to multiply. If you notice, here's the game. They just use that to multiply the anal sex, to give that more power. You see what I'm saying? That's why they just use people as just slaves, and they mind controlling them. Everybody. We'll get into it deeper, but then okay, we're gonna go into the mouth. Again, when a woman swallows your seed, it's mixing in with her food and being a part of her shit. All right. So when you ejaculate in a woman's mouth, it's like anal, but it's just a little different. It's a little slower process. So it's computing on different levels, and it's mixing in with the combustion when the foods is first breaking down up in there, and they all mixing together. Versus when you're going up in the back, ejaculating on the power, the doo-doo that's already made. It's totally different. All of them is different. But we're on them different levels computing in this creation. Alright? It's not all, and you gotta pay attention. Now, you wonder why, okay, in mathematics, everything goes back into the number 9. Alright? And 9, 9, 6, or 9, 6 are the opposites, and they the ones that do the pull. And everything that you see got that pull spin on it. Everything in this creation. And everything goes into 9 universe. Now if you look at the body, okay, the body has 9 holes. The body has 9 holes in the body. I think it's 2 of the ears, the 2 nostrils, one side, the mouth, the anal, the penis hole or the vaginal hole, and then you got the 2 eye sockets. That's 9. Alright? You got 9 holes in your body. Now, that represents the 9 universe. And you got 5 senses. Okay? I've been doing this knowledge for a long time, trying to break down and figure out all this stuff. So a lot of stuff that I'm saying is not just me just talking or regurgitating information I didn't heard from somewhere else and don't know what I'm talking about. I've actually interfaced myself and my mind in the universe and came with this. I got this information and breaking it down, and I'm relaying it back out to you for you to have an understanding of the creation of what's going on. This show I'm not going to get to all, I'm not going to be able to explain everything in the world and the universe to you, but at least I'm giving you enough and some of the things that you can start working on to try to build your understanding and give you a good introduction into, you know, some knowledge that you can further, you know, dig into if you like to. So you'll have that. So we have, you know, the nine, the body's a computer, and the body is a system, a host that hosts this universe and this whole world that we live in. All right, like I said before, it's all holographic. We're being computed. You're all going through the world in your own mind, in a circle, in a cycle. You're in your own bubble going around, and it's manifesting and computing whatever you think, and make it seem like that to be like your world, to make it even exist. Okay? You're coexisting in your world. But remember that you're in something that created you. You're in a bigger computer. That bigger computer, you know, is you, right? Then you on the planet, supposedly the Earth. Then you're in space. Then that's in something that's supposed to be in a woman. So it's just, we're all encapsulated in these different cycles of things. These other things that we're encapsulated in are bigger worlds that's computing us. Now, what I found out, well, that's helping you, that's why you were coexisting, because your mind is computing, but then it'll compute what you feel in your world to host that. But what I found out is you got to dig within. That's how I even got all this information I know now. I went within. You know, I found out, I tried to figure out, well, what's heaven and hell, and what's this and that. You're gonna all this stuff is all in codes. It's not apparent how they say it or what you think it is. Everything is in codes for the person to get it, who dug deep to get it. They worked for it, so that's how they got it and deserve to get it. Heaven and hell is all within self. Okay? Heaven is within yourself. Hell is all within yourself. You notice that you're in heaven if by how you feel or where you're at, if things feel like good to you in life at that time, or you're happy about something. Then hell is when you're mad or you're not feeling good or you're agitated or something in your brain. But see, it's all within self. But the mind, the body gives the mind a ride, because the body is the computer. But then the mind controls the body's emotions. And through the emotions in the mind is what will manifest your world the way you want, like for whatever it is. That's why how you feel, the world will act like that. You see what I'm saying? It'll manifest, it'll be that. Alright, so